What up, fam? Chief X, the God best reincarnated, with some more common sense science. So check this out. Let me first start off thanking my brother, Any Harrit, also known as Sean, for dropping this jewel and giving me this information that I'm about to share with the rest of you guys. Showing this age-old question is, where are the slave ships? Where are all the slave ships at? I got a long list to show you that he showed me the reference to go to, my brother Any. So thanks, Any, for that. And after viewing this, you can no longer say the slave trade didn't happen. You can no longer ask where the slave ships are. Anyone that has been in denial of that or teaching otherwise, that slave trade wasn't real to the extent they said, or where all the slave ships, trying to put doubt in my young children's, in the youth minds, trying to put doubt in their minds that the slave trade wasn't what happened, and you know, this and this and that, and there's no ships and all that. Yes, there are ships, and we're about to see them all. Okay? Actually, 50% of the people in the conscious community need to apologize after viewing this. And just say, you know what? I didn't know. Thanks for the information. Just simple as that. There should be no rebuttal or debate about this. Say, thanks for the information, Chief X. We didn't know. Here we go. C, the category, slave ships. And I don't know why after all these years I never thought to went there. Now, I've always known there were slave ships and things like that because I was in the Navy. My answer was just, you know, they transform them. Like remodel them and use it for different uses. Because nobody is going to just throw away no ship. Ships are worth money. It's like buying a car. Why would you throw it away? They trade them and sell them just like anything else. Reuse them, remodel them. Because when I was in the Navy, see, I got living experience when I was in the Navy. That's what we were doing when we was in docks. When we're not at sea, the ship is in docks and stuff, getting worked on, and other ships around. They're remodeling and, you know, welding and doing all kind of shit. Welding, you seeing sparks flying everywhere. We know they remodel ships. It's just y'all lack a little logic. Okay. Yeah, really lacking logic, right? And you know what? I'm just, as I'm talking, I'm about to get into it and break this lecture down. A lot of Moors are going to have to apologize. And if these people don't apologize and say, you know what, we're wrong, and start reteaching the correct truth, then they're just simply deceitful people. Just bottom line. You don't come into the truth and then lie about it after you come into the truth. You're coming into the truth right now. You see all these names. These are names of different ships in years. Okay? I can just go on. Look. And this is not even a half. I'm scrolling. Ship after ship. And I'm going to click on these things and show you. Look, they even got what? Jesus of Lubbock. The good ship Jesus. That's the one they was talking about. The good ship Jesus with John Hawkins. And information. So check this out, family. People need to apologize. The case is closed. Never say this again and disrespect my ancestors. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you have ancestors that were thrown over ships for being too sick. People dying, thrown overboard. A lot of people died on these voyages, and their spirit is out there. You guys are so spiritual, but you're not. But you're so spiritual. What do you think is going on with the spirit of those who were thrown overboard? And you know this phrase is turning over in their grave. Just turning over in their grave, listening to you talking about, hey, there's no slave ships. They just, once you hear they say that, you just spit on the ancestors. But you're not spiritual. You're illogical. 12 million came. So let's go. These are names of ships. Right, let's click on the diamond. The diamond, you click on it, bam. Right? And all the information come up about it. Diamond was launched in 1798 in Quebec. French privateers captured her 3 times. The 3rd time retaining her. In between, she carried slaves. Her 3rd capture occurred while she was on a whaling voyage. Her last voyage took, let me just read it the right way. Her last voyage took her from de France to Bordeaux, where she was decommissioned in 1809. Then he goes down and just goes all the information, the numbers on it, the years. You go down here, it just gives you history information, the British carrier. See, people sold these things to the next person. The next person did what they wanted to with the boat. All this information on the boat. Right? Citations. You know what I mean? Sources. University of Hull, British Southern Well Fishery. They was using a lot of this stuff for fishing. You know, in changing uses. It's sources everywhere. Right? Let's go. Let's just talk for a minute, huh? Oh, let's go to the ship Jesus. Jesus has the less information because it was the oldest. It was in the 1500s. Right? Jesus of Lubbock was a carrack built in the free city of Lubbock in the early 16th century, around 1540. The ship, which had mostly been used for representative purposes, was acquired by King Henry, whatever number that is, King of England, to augment his fleet. The ship saw action during the French invasion of the Isles of Wight. They use these things in wars and different things. Whatever ship they can use to get around and do things and hustle and fight and battle and whatever, they convert them and use them. They don't throw away no ships, family. It gives you all the information about it. The bibliography about it. Even has it's even in the museum. Look. Lubbock Museum for, I can't pronounce those words. Even I think there's the museum number. Look, you can go look at it yourself. Right? But check this out. It's something I wanted to show that was very interesting. So you have it was a ship called the Prince of Wales, 1786. Now, mind you, the ship Jesus of Lubbock Jesus good ship Jesus, what we call it, but that was, I guess, the technical name. Now, mind you, that was in late 1500s, 1540, I think it said. So people been, running slaves for a good 400 years. Now, I know later on it started taking off, but people start sampling, you know what I mean, in the 1500s. Good 400 years, and I did the math. I said 30,000 people in 400 years. That's 12 million slaves in total transfer. Over 400 years, that's like 30,000 a year, which is not nothing unbelievable at all. A football stadium, 2 football stadiums or whatever, you get that. In a year, you got a year's time, and you got a whole bunch of people doing it? Oh yeah, that's no problem at all. Okay, so we click on Prince of Wales. Prince of Wales was a transport ship in the First Fleet assigned to transport convicts for the European colonization of Australia. Accounts differing regarding her origins. She may have been built and launched in 1779 in Sidmouth or 1786 on the River Thames. Her first fleet voyage commenced in 1787 with 47 female convicts aboard. And she arrived at Botany Bay in January 1788. And it gives stories after stories. Now, I'm not saying this is the Prince Wales ship. The name was just called Prince Wales. After Prince Wales returned to Britain, her owners deployed her as a whaler in the South Seas fisheries. She was later used as a privateer under a letter marquee before performing a voyage as a slave ship. After a period under French control, she returned to Britain and was used to carry trade goods between London, the West Indies, and the Mediterranean. The last records of her existence dated 1810. Her fate thereafter unknown. Right? And it just breaks down stories of stories, and you have these little pictures of these boats and things, right? And I'm reading, so I've been here for about an hour just going through stuff. One boat just had really some goods and just 30 slaves. You know, every boat wasn't trying to pack hundreds and stuff like that, like y'all think. One boat just had 30, and it was easy to care for just 30 slaves, and they pretty much survived. I think maybe 2 out of the 30 died or something. You know, it was easy to care. I mean, it's different ways and things people was going about this, but it was lots of people involved. You know, you even got a rogue. I'm reading a lot of stuff about capture this and capture that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, one so vague. You know, I'm like, it's road, they gang, carjacking, boat jacking. You know, it's wild, wild west sometimes. These didn't have no goddamn morals. These are slave runners. They'll jack a motherfucker for slaves. You know what I mean? Shit, there ain't no morality in this shit. Right? You know? So let's just go down to this other one I wanted to see. The SMH Shark was the name of this one, 1776. The British Royal Navy purchased HMS Shark on the stocks in 1775. She was launched in 1776 and converted to a fire ship and renamed HMS Salamander in 1778. The Navy sold her in 1783. She then became a mercantile salamander in the 1780s. So just, you know, they used for fisheries. Some ships were used for seals, catching, and all kind of stuff. And it just gives their whole history, the whole background, the Royal Navy, and, you know, everything. Battle of Chesapeake, they got information on. You know, mercantile service. You know, just a link after link after link after link. Citations after citations after citations after citations. Source after source after source. Shut your mouth. You never knew what you was talking about. The slave trade was real. Here are all the slave ships and the names and every information you want to know about them. Right? But this is what tripped me out too. I checked this when I went here and let me find this one. The Black Joke was the name of this slave ship. HMS, right here, Black Joke. Clicked on it. HMS Black Joke. You know, just paintings and things like that. You know, it just gives a history of the boat and all this. Brazilian history of it, British history of it. You know, but what I read tripped me out. It says, the third HMS Black Joke was probably built in Baltimore in 1824, becoming the Brazilian slave ship Henrietta. The Royal Navy captured her in September 1827 and purchased her into the service. The Navy renamed her Black Joe after English song of the same name and resigned her to West African Squadron. Her role was to chase down slave ships. And over her 5-year career, she freed many hundreds of slaves. So some people were working to, you know, they had some compassion and was trying to free slaves. And at this owner and time period, this specific ship was used before to chase down other slave ships and free the slaves. Eventually, the Navy deliberately burnt this ship in May 1832. And all these things have a history and a story. Black joke, slave catcher. So it was used to catch slaves, and one time it was used to free slaves, because they have different owners at different periods, all this information. Right? So, no one can no longer say we're the slave ships. Here they are. Here they are. Here they are. All in alphabetical order. Hundreds of them. There was 12 million slaves brought over here between the Americas, Brazil, and the Caribbean islands. And then once people mostly came later, to Brazil, the Caribbean islands. But a lot of other stories people don't know is that once people were there, when they was building up America, they started shipping slaves from Brazil and from the Caribbean islands to North America. In addition to what was sent here originally. They was shipping slaves. This is huge. This is huge. This is good information. This is good information you guys need to know. The slave trade was real and happened. And I've been telling you guys this. Right? And now we're right now in America. Maybe I think, I heard 49 million right now in America, black Americans. We multiplied. Right? We multiplied. The slave trade was real. Right? So, the thing is, you guys follow the wrong people, so you don't get the correct information. You follow, a lot of times women in the conscious community, they pick bum-ass niggas for boyfriends. Oh, lames for boyfriends. And they do the same thing in the conscious community. They come follow the lames, the pseudo-scholars, the bullshitters, and give them all the attention. Then they get brainwashed. You know what I mean? And that's how it works. You know what I mean? It's like the kind of niggas. This is the kind of niggas y'all is. In one breath you'll say, I don't believe in evolution. In the next breath you'll say, the white man got Neanderthal DNA. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought you didn't believe in evolution, but now you believe the white man have DNA. Then in the next breath you'll say, I don't believe the white man's science. He lies. Then you'll say, hey, the white man got Neanderthal DNA. Make up your mind. You're talking about Neanderthals. That means you must believe in evolution. Oh, you must know. Well, you forgot. If you talk about Neanderthal, that means you're talking about evolution, right? They're an extinct archaic human being. 99.5% of everything, any species that ever existed, died. All of them. Things evolve and mutate. It's calculated our species might not be here in 3 million years. We got 3 more million years before we extinct. And be another kind of being. Slave trade. Look at all these babies. And this picture even has some information on it. What does it say? Group of slave children on board the Daphne. And you're going to say the slave trade ain't real? Where the ships and question shit? And you're going to spit on these children like that? Maybe a quarter of these children might have died. They turn over in their grave at the thought of you guys. Not even wanting to be African either. Claiming to be Native American. We've debunked all that. Get back to black. Get back to Africa. Keep your eye on the prize. Stay curious.